I'm pretty sure that by now you've probably seen a video of somebody customizing a pair of Air Force Ones by soaking them in coffee. I've always looked at these videos and thought, wow, that is so cool. What a unique thing to do. Dyeing with coffee, I mean, that must smell amazing. But it's definitely something that I've always wanted to do. So in this video, I am gonna coffee dye my precious Jordan 1s, and I'm gonna take you through the process step by step from A to Z so that you realistically know what this is like. And when we get to the end, I'm even gonna do a little durability test, so make sure you stick around to the end to see whether this technique is good or not. And plus, I've got really big plans for this pair of shoes that I think you're really gonna enjoy. So let's get into it. Espresso.
Okay.
So the first thing we got to do is we got to remove the factory finish that keeps the shoe waterproof from the surface by using some acetone or nail polish remover and a rag. So first things first, of course, I went to the supermarket and I bought a big bag of beans, a ridiculously large plastic container. Now I've just got to find a rock. I thought this would be easier. Ooh, these are nice rocks. Wow, look at that one. I'm gonna take that one, that one, that one, and one more. So I've got almost a kg of beans, my ridiculously large Tupperware container, and my really pretty stones to weigh down the shoes. I was so ready to get started, but I forgot that I have to grind the beans. This is gonna take a while. Oi. Alright, I've got everything. I've got my coffee, I've got my shoes, I've got my Tupperware, I've got an easy hot water solution, and I've got a great drainage solution. Now it's time to just do it. Just do it! So as with a lot of things that I saw online, I immediately filled the Tupperware with as hot water as possible. So I filled it to a certain point and I thought, let me add in the coffee. It might get the water turning a little bit better if I put the coffee in halfway. So I upended my, so much time grinding. I upended all of my grinds into the water, gave it a little stir. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. I wish you could smell how good this smells. And I popped the shoes in. Now, I was concerned that this wasn't going to be a high enough container, but fortunately I could just turn the shoes on their side. But less fortunately is that the water is so hot that it is so difficult to maneuver the shoes once they're in there. So anyway, ow! Burned my fingers a couple of times. Okay, now it's time to leave them for a couple of hours. I saw some people did it for about 2 hours. What we're going for here is a grande pair of mocha latte sneakers, not a pair of iced coffee sneakers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the lid on so that the water can retain its heat for as long as possible. So I went upstairs, got super busy focusing on projects that needed to be accomplished and really wisely used this time. So guessing that it had been about 8 to 10 hours, I went downstairs and I decided to have a look, see what these sneakers are going to look like. Oh my cappuccino mocha latte Americano flippin' banana. Now obviously this was a little bit of a mission to try and drain it. As you can see, I've got an injured toe with a bandage on it, so I have to try and not get that dirty or wet while busy trying to get rid of this water. But then after giving them a little bit of a rinse, I realized that these looked awesome. This new creamy look on the outer rubber sole is so much better than the flat white these sneakers came with. Whoa! I am really happy with how these came out. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're definitely a lot cooler than they were. I think they look really, really cool. My wife thinks that they look just like dirty sneakers, but she's not a sneakerhead, so she doesn't understand. But I just absolutely love this sort of cream tone. And I guess the impression is a little bit diluted because of the darker tones on these Jordans that one wouldn't have with an Air Force, where it would just be creamy all the way along. But I have a very specific purpose for these shoes going forward that is probably going to blow your mind. Now, of course, as soon as you've removed your shoes from your dyeing tub, they're going to be wet. So once you've removed all of your granules and given them a solid rinse, you're going to want to put them outside and let them dry for at least 24 hours, just to make sure that they're completely dry. I actually tossed mine in the washing machine, believe it or not. I was not looking forward to coffee stains on my new white socks. And yes, they still smell like coffee. As do I. Now, some things to keep in mind whenever you're dyeing your Air Force Ones or your Jordans or whatever shoes you're doing is that whenever dyeing the rubber outer sole, that there is a strong chance that your dye is going to rub off. As you can see right over here, there's a little white patch, and that's because the rubber has separated. So this is one of the big problems with painting on the rubber. It's usually something that you can't do. I thought that dyeing it was going to be a nice workaround, but it looks like it still does shine through if your shoes do get scuffed at all. So this is after me wearing them a couple of weeks. So even with that, they still look really good, but just don't expect them to stay that way forever. Well, I'm really stoked with how these came out, and I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I also hope that you are feeling super capable and empowered to go and dye your own pair of coffee shoes. If you do give it a try, let me know in the comments down below. If you would like to, then please do. And if you have any questions about the process whatsoever, just drop me a message and I'll happily respond. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you can see the next video. I've got awesome plans for these shoes. I'm going to be doing a whole Starbucks themed custom and taking them into the coffee shop to get people's reactions. See you next time.